I loves me some 1 degree of Chunky B.
Now, I just have to make a comment about Chunky B. Have you ever seen him looking so good?
The panel then includes actress Lady Kazan, comedian Chunky B, and Playboy TV host Julie Strain. Chunky?
What was the question? Oh, we're ready?
He's running.
Oh, is it really?
Well, it's always something to give Travis.
That's the sound of a bottle of duck opening.
Man. All right, guys, check it out. My name is Chunky B. You are watching 1 Degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love on ChunkyB.tv. All good things are happening. The holidays are among us.
Yes.
I do get warm, fuzzy feelings, but I'm going to tell you, I'm coming in hot, coming in aggro. I'm coming in like I want to punch somebody right in the fucking eye.
Why, dude?
I got
Calm
this thing
down.
on Fox tonight, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm over there shooting camera. I'll tell you in a sec.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what is the most important thing. And the thing that I'm grateful each and every single day is the executive producer of Love. He goes by the name of Gary Adler.
Thanks, Chunk. It's about time you got to me.
I know it. But let's
listen,
talk business.
You were talking about the holidays, and I
Yeah.
just want to let the folks know at home, if you're going to go shopping, right, go to our
Yes.
site, ChunkyB.tv, hit the Amazon button. We
Boom,
get a little
you're
piece of
shopping.
it.
Right.
Yeah, you're shopping, and everything's great. And Andy will bring your gift to the door.
Andy will
That's a
deliver
promise.
it. Is it really? Okay.
That's a promise.
What are those countries that we're in? We're hot in some countries, aren't we?
We're in Bangladesh or Madagascar, one of those two.
And we're not
Oh,
even-
no, Mozambique.
Mozambique.
Yeah, we're huge in Mozambique.
And people, we're not even kidding. There's people out there that are, yeah. Anyway, we've got great sponsors, and once again, we cannot tell you how proud we are of Venice Duck. If you want to get your quack on, you've got to get this beer. Seriously, people. And I'll tell you what, you got a restaurant. There's restaurants all through Southern California.
Yeah,
that
they all have it.
And you know something? Say, hey, yeah, I like a Venice Duck, please, and put it on my bill. Oh, what?
Oh, you did not.
What?
You just went back to your warm-up days.
Yeah.
My kids love that joke.
They made it up.
I tell you what. Here's another thing, people. I'm now diving in. I know it's way late in the game, but I'm diving into that YouTube sensation.
No, it's not late.
And I'm making some stuff, you know, because of the pressure of my executive producer. He's like, dude, you got to start doing some promos. So I'm learning how to edit on my little phone and check some of our promos out on YouTube.
Yeah, getting a lot
Chunky
of views.
B TV. And I'm starting to do the channel stuff. All right? And I know
We
our
just
next
got to
year-
work on your spelling.
Okay, I spelled one.
Do an official apology to Paul Casey.
Paul
right
Casey, right now you're airing with us right now, and I want to let you know we're getting great traction. And I accidentally skipped an E out of your last name. I think the computer did that.
It's probably never happened.
It was a word problem,
Yeah.
cut and paste issue.
Okay, check it out. Check it out. Don't show our guest yet. He's not ready to be seen.
We got to introduce the manimal.
Yeah. Hey, say hello to our friend Andy Davey, and he's an incredible individual, and he goes by the nickname Mammal.
You can't say it, can he? Manimal.
Manimal. Okay,
There you
see,
go.
I can't spell. I skipped
It's
this
animal with an M on the front. It's not that hard.
Animal. Okay, check this out, people.
Yes.
We joke, we laugh, but we love. We do love Astaglow. Astaglow is the
You can't say it without laughing.
Why is it so funny when it does such good things?
Well, because let me tell you why. Should I
Yeah.
tell you why?
Yes.
Okay, because it sounds like Astroglide, which is a lubricant for ass fucking. That's why. That's why we laugh.
Spell it out.
Really?
Yes.
Really? You sound professional. You sound experienced. I can't handle it anymore. Okay, wait a second. Hold on. I want to know,
Yeah.
because I've talked to a couple people about our guest,
Yeah.
and I want to, I'm going to introduce them in a second.
Do it.
All right, dudes and dudesses, and all those people that are watching and listening, thank you. I'm finally feeling as we're hitting stride with this Chunky B. Fucking the Garage of Love and 1 Degree of Chunky B. All right, this next cat is a funny dude, and he's out of the Sickler camp, and you know anything out of the Crab Feast camp is gold to us. You know what? They're the ship, and we're that little.
We're the
boat.
dinghy.
Yeah, we're the. We're like the.
We might be the anchor.
I know. That'd be better. At least we got, we're supportive. All right, this guy's out of Philly. He's a badass. Look him up. And here's where I'm going to say, Steve, I want you to properly pronounce
Simeone.
Simone. Okay, because I've talked to some people about you.
Yep.
And they threw like an E at the end. Oh, that's
Yeah, they did a Simeone, right? Yeah.
Yep, or
I gotta tell you,
Simeone.
ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Steve Simone. And I
thanks,
want to
guys.
tell you, man,
Yes.
you are the kind of guest I need tonight because I'm walking in here, putting my dukes up. Just wanted to really just shit goes downhill.
Yep.
But it stops me. The shit stops here. Okay. I was shooting over at Fox. I'm a camera operator also.
Cool.
And got reamed on the headset. All the other cameramen, everybody. Chunky, what the fuck are you doing?
Really?
Then I'm trying to
Were
talk
you
to him.
were you working on one of your promos at the time?
No. So I went in hyper focused. And you know what he said to me? This fucking director said to me, and I love him. Oh God, I shouldn't even get in trouble about this. But he was like this. He goes, I said his name. Hey, director. He goes, Chunky, is that you? He goes, can't you tell I'm talking to somebody more important than you?
Oh, snap.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough of my problems. Thank you for being here, Father Steve. Dude, I was born and raised in Upper Darby.
Get out of here.
I just made that up. That scared you.
Yeah, because in the summer of '94, maybe '95, I helped build Upper Darby High School.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was one of my summer jobs, construction.
Awesome. You don't know Eric Obolewski, do you?
No, but the last name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a
my-
bartender over at the Scarlet Lady.
Perfect.
Are you a boozer?
I'll have it. All depends on where I am and what I'm doing. But in my 20s, I was crazy with it. I think I wasted every paycheck I had.
Really?
Until I was about, well, as Tug McGraw would say.
Tug McGraw.
Remember-
Did you just do a Tug McGraw reference?
Yeah, he's got one of the best quotes ever in the history of baseball. When they asked him what he was going to do with his World Series bonus, he said 90% of it he would spend on women, whiskey, women, Irish whiskey, and good times, and the other 10% he would probably waste. So I lived like the first 30 years of my life. Like that,
stoner?
probably. No. But I would booze it up now every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I don't really smoke that much pot. I'm like one of the only comics that doesn't.
Yeah, right on.
Everybody I know does.
You doing it full time? You got a job?
No, just comedy, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah. You know something? I hate to be so generic, but
But-
I personally want to know,
Do it.
how'd you get started?
Like everybody else, open mics.
In Philly?
I did a few. I was trying to get started in the late '90s when comedy was dead. There wasn't. It was after the boom. All the clubs were closed. I did do a few open mics in Philly. I honestly remember Kevin Hart being very nice to me at an open mic at a place called the Laugh House.
Nice.
Legitimately good dude. Big Jay Okerson, I remember closing out the open mic. He was like the cool guy then. I did a few of those in Philly. I did a few bar shows in Delaware. My first open mic was in Baltimore. I was driving, trying to find stage time. And then at one point, I was just like, you know what? I do not like my life. I want to make a change. And I just got in my car and drove.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy.
How
Now, in
many days did it
hindsight,
take you to get out here?
4 days, I think.
4 days. You didn't.
When I
drive
moved
through
out here, I
Texas.
stopped in every other city and got the Yellow Pages. Now, the Yellow Pages, kids, is a place where you used to pick. It's like a blog with paper.
How
It has
did you use your
information.
Thomas guide to find your way out here?
Dude, I'm never giving up on my Thomas guide.
I still
Okay?
have one in my car.
That's awesome.
I don't know why.
Yeah. So, okay, you got that groove going. And are you hitting success pretty early in the game?
No. I mean, everybody's got to pay their dues. There's no shortcuts in comedy. You might get lucky, but
Yeah.
if you want your black belt, you're going to have to earn it. So,
It's that 10,000 hours thing. Right?
yeah, it's for real. There's no shortcuts. Like, I worked every job imaginable at the Comedy Store. I parked cars. I managed the place. I was Mitzi Shore's assistant. I worked the cover booth. I answered phones. I bartended. I did everything there, and she still took 8 years to pass me. So for like my first 6 years in LA, I was getting 3 minutes a week of stage time at their open mic. Did not have a car. I was flipping pizzas, doing telemarketing, working graveyard shifts
Don't you
at
love to hear
gyms.
shit like that?
So you see, folks, it is easy.
That's why he's got integrity. That's why people brag about him. That's why Sickler talks great things about this guy. I know. And because you done your time.
Yeah, there's no shortcuts, man.
Right on.
There's no
So
shortcuts.
how do you get paid right now?
Prostitution?
It's finally 15 years in. I'm starting to fill up my calendar a little bit. I was fortunate enough that Gabriel Iglesias put me on his stand-up comedy show on Comedy Central. That was my first legit television credit. Now this February, I'll be back on Comedy Central with Ari Shaffir's Storyteller show. I was lucky that out of the gate, guys like, believe it or not, Pauly Shore, Andrew Dice Clay, guys that were Comedy Store guys then would let me open up for them. So I got to sell T-shirts and carry bags and be
do that whole thing.
Yeah, do it all, man. And
That's a great experience, dude.
It was great experience. And like I think I'm old enough now where I can look back at the tough times and see a purpose for it all. You know, and at some of the worst stuff that I went through then, now I look back and I go, it was the best thing for me.
Yeah.
And now I'm just grateful.
Well,
you know, if you struggle enough, you're grateful for everything.
Right. But at the same time, I think you're in a tough spot growing up as a middle child.
Oh man, it was. I think there's a lot of comedians that are middle kids. I didn't think it was like at the time I didn't know, but I come from a very funny family. My older brother, funniest dude I know, but he was too smart to do stand-up comedy and didn't need the attention. My younger brother was also freakishly intelligent, so he could buckle the family dinner table with one line. Like, I would be the idiot, like the little Chris Farley kid dumping drinks on my head to try to get laughs.
Just hammering jokes on
hammer. And then my older brother would just look at me and go, really? And then buckle the table.
Right.
Like a blow dart of funny right to my throat.
Growing up in the East Coast, you had to, there's some kind of unwritten law that your brothers have to fight.
Yes. It's the greatest. Yeah. It's the best. I'm working on a new bit because it dawned on me that if I treated anybody as poorly as my brothers, I would have been arrested. Like when you really think about how you treat, they're felonies.
Old's the difference between your older brother?
My older brother's 3 years older. My younger brother and I are Irish twins. We're only 51 weeks apart.
Okay. Wow. Right, go back to your older brother. What were you doing?
Oh, my older brother, seriously, like there was legit extortion, blackmail, assault and battery. Like you couldn't treat anybody as poorly as your brothers. And it's another great thing, like, because sometimes I tell a lot of stories about growing up on stage, and if I don't phrase it right or connect enough with the audience, by the time I start to introduce these characters, some people are like, they're like, and I'm like, no, that's what an older brother does.
Right.
And then I have to backtrack and explain to them that, we love each other now.
Were there ever a time where the changing of the guards, was it when you got old enough to hold your own?
Yeah, I was more scared than my big brother. I went away to college. It was a tough adjustment for me. And the only thing I really did was lift weights.
Well, I'm talking about your conflict with your brother. Was there one time when he was punching on you and you punched back and like, oh my God?
I picked up my big brother and body slammed him.
Okay, what age was that?
I was 18.
Okay.
And then I was so scared. We were both like,
yeah.
And then he was like, all right, man. And I was like, yeah, are we cool?
Yeah.
Like, I was more scared than him.
Right.
But conversely, if anything happened outside of the family to one of you, I'm sure you all had each other's backs.
Yes.
Oh,
right. For sure.
Yeah.
And then
that's
now
Philly, that's New York.
That's everywhere. Really,
Yeah, it
right?
should be
I don't know. I don't know about out here.
Yeah, why not out here? Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you that if like Jack was in trouble, I think Riley would just like drive by. Hey.
Really? See, as much as my boys dislike each other tremendously, they would have each other's back, I'm sure.
Right on. You talk a lot about your family. You talk. What was this funny? What were we talking about? Was it your nephews or nieces?
Yeah, a lot of family.
With the you got a bit a couple years back about the cartoons in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Good bit.
Oh, thanks, man.
Right on. That's and that's kind of your theme. That's your thread through your comedy.
You know what it is? There's so many comics out there that are telling everybody what's wrong with the world. I want to try to focus on what's right. Let's light a candle instead of cursing the darkness.
Fucking
There you go.
Goosebumps,
That's
dude.
what I'm talking about.
Stevie, right here.
Right.
Goosebumps.
Let me ask you something. When you when the show The Goldbergs came out, were you envious, or were you like, okay, there's something in my world that I can work now?
Oh, I thought it was great. Like, number one, coming from Philly, I support everything Philly. Everything. And then it's the nostalgia angle. And my favorite TV show ever was The Wonder Years.
Yeah.
So anything that's like that, I'm going to support it.
And has anybody approached you to kind of turn your life into a sitcom?
No.
All right, folks at home, look this guy up on YouTube, okay? Because he's a living sitcom.
So tell me, what are your two go-to stories? Like, maybe not on stage, but you're sitting there hanging with Sickler, you're hanging out with Larson, and you guys are just motherfucking each other. What's a two go-to story?
Oh, man.
Do you have one that like you go to, bam? Like,
no, there's just so many.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to keep this. Well, there's one. I don't know how.
You don't have to keep it anything, by the way.
Yeah. what I really, okay, I got to tell you guys a story right away because I have to keep this in because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is legitimate.
This
I'm
is
in the
real.
middle of this is real. It's
Okay.
not like I could feel like I have a good bits about roommates and LA stuff. Like
Right.
ask me about my roommate, God rest his soul, Fat James. I have so many Fat James stories. But like right now I'm in the middle of a Christmas miracle and I don't know what to do. This is honestly what's going on.
Okay.
let's hear it.
Okay.
So I need some advice.
Break it down.
Okay, so about 6 months ago, I started to spend some time down at Children's Hospital. Okay, and I was going to do a blood drive down there, get the comedy community involved. Let's do something good. That's what I love to do is to help.
Awesome.
So then the guy that worked at the blood bank saw one of my videos online, and he said, "You know what? I think the little kids would really like you. Do you want to help me put some smiles on their faces and go visit some hospital rooms?" I was like, absolutely. It's the only reason why I wanted to do comedy. Seriously. So he goes, I'll tell you what, we're going to go on a little tour. He goes, I want you to see where your blood's going and it'll get you more motivated to get this blood drive bigger. So he goes, go toy shopping and we're going to go visit some sick kids. It's legitimately the only reason why I want to do comedy is to make people happy. So the first kid I meet is 4 years old. And he's up in what they call the bone marrow transplant unit. It's hardcore. And he suffers from a rare disease called ALD. I'm like, the less I know, the better. I just want to go to try to make this little kid happy. I go in there with dinosaur toys, wrapped gifts. There's a toy store in the valley that wraps. So I feel like Santa Claus. One of the things is like a sticker book. The kid just opens the wrapping paper, sees that it's a book, and throws it over his shoulder. I'm like, I'm bombing. I don't want to bomb in front of a sick kid. So now we have this dinosaur thing, but I went to like the hippie toy store where they wrap stuff, and it's like kind of educational. So it's like, oh, this sucks. So now I have like flop sweat. I'm trying to make this 4-year-old laugh, right? And now they don't make these toys easy to put together. So now I'm trying to put together these little dinosaurs. Half the stuff is educational cards. And his parents are looking at me like, who's this idiot? So about 7 minutes in, we're supposed to keep the tour going, but I'm a comic and I'm bombing. So I need to get that laugh. I got to close strong. So now I start getting the kid to laugh. I don't know what happened. We start to connect. Then I see his parents smile and it was legitimate. And then like I thought hearing the kid laugh was magical. But then when I literally felt the tension of the parents, like, it was the first time they'd seen their kid laugh in a long time. Wow. So then I'm kind of like getting addicted, right? So me and this little kid we're killing it. We're friends. We're playing. I spend like 40 minutes with this kid and we're supposed to do 10, but he's my buddy. So then when I leave his room, he's quarantined in his room and you have to wear a mask and all that stuff. So then he comes over to the window to wave goodbye. He's 4 years old. I have more toys. I'm like, forget it. This kid's getting more toys. I go back. I'm handing the kid toys. Go on my tour. It's the best day ever. I'm like, I have to become a volunteer down here officially. This is the greatest. All right. 2 days later, I get a phone call from my buddy at the blood bank. He goes, hey, your little buddy Steven's been asking about you. His mom wants to know if you're not too busy, if there's any time you could come by again.
Oh, jeez.
It made her happy. It made the kid happy. So I'm like, I'm leaving now. He goes, what? I go, tell them I'll be right there. So long story short, me and this kid become buddies. Like, to the point where like the grandmother says I'm part of the family and I get invited over for family dinners. I'm driving. He gets released from the hospital. I drive out to Ontario. I spend a couple days a week out there whenever he's coming to the hospital for more tests. It's great. Okay. Poor kid's got to get another bone marrow transplant. All right. So I'm like, okay, buddy, I'm here. We're going to have fun. It'll be great. So then we do our blood drive in September. I meet another kid called William, who's a teenager, who's suffering from leukemia. But he has the greatest spirit I've ever met because he was older. So the little kids look up to the big kid. And he would just walk around Children's Hospital to make other kids happy. Okay. So now I'm going to visit William because his family can't. They legitimately couldn't afford to come, the gas money to come out from Palm Springs.
Wow.
So I'm like, I'm going to make sure this kid is set up. He's got buddies. So now all the other comedians are coming to visit William because he's just cool. So now like all the nurses are like, who are these guys? Whatever. So these are the characters in my story. So I have Steven, I have William. Christmas is coming up. Steven's back in the hospital. He's going to be there on Christmas morning. And I know I want to help. And William's family's going through some financial, it's a horror show. Like he's got cancer. The mom's got cancer. The dad's a limo driver, was just hit. He's on disability. 4 years ago, their house burned down. The place where they're staying now, they're getting evicted. They're staying, like it's bad. I don't know how much to share. This is all new. Yeah. I don't know how to help. I just know somebody's got to do it. Okay.
Right.
So last 2 weeks ago, I'm on the road taking any gig I can get because I'm, like you said, how do you make a living doing comedy? I say yes.
Yep.
So I'm at the Mall of America over Thanksgiving weekend, and a podcast listener sends me a random email. She goes, I love you and your comedy. Me and my sons listen to your podcast. It puts us in a good mood. I want to send you a small donation to buy the kids some toys. I go, you know what? You don't have to do that. I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't want anybody to think I'm soliciting. So she goes, it would make us feel good. It would put us in the Christmas spirit if we sent you a couple bucks. Go buy little Steven some toys. I went, awesome, thank you. She sends a PayPal donation for $250. Sweet. So now I immediately call Steven's mom. I go, what does he want for Christmas? I got $250.
Right.
Let's roll the dice. Well, I felt funny asking you, but what he really wants is an Xbox, believe it or not. The Xbox One, it's $300. I'm like, done. So then we were just talking, because there have been miracles all along the way where, like, a friend of mine knew Stan Lee. The little kid's a huge comic book fan. Stan Lee found out about him, made a video for him, brought him down to Kamikaze. He got to hang out with Stan Lee. The guy that runs all of Stan Lee's cool movie comic book props is like, because this kid, Steven's the greatest kid ever. So then I was talking to the mom that, like, you know what? Because I always felt funny about sharing what I did for charity. I think that's private.
Right.
But you have to let people know. You have to, because the positive stuff ripples out. And this is what I'm going through right now. So I was just having that conversation with the mom. A day later, randomly, this lady sends me $250. So I'm still thinking about it. I never want people to think I'm a douchebag doing this for attention, or, you know what I mean? Like, but something just said, like, a little quiet voice was like, just go on Facebook, because that's how everything positives happens anyways. And just see if anybody could get you a good deal on an Xbox. Because I have friends that are celebrities. They might have got one in a gift bag and could have been like, here you go, dude.
You know how many Xboxes are sitting in people's closets?
Dude, collecting dust.
Yep.
All right, so I said, and I didn't ask for one. I didn't ask for a hookup. Nothing. I just said, where can I get the best deal on an Xbox? Because now I have normal listeners in the middle of the country, all over the world. They're like, go to this website and you can get it for 50% off, or Black Friday. Then there were other people that were like, hey, I'm going to send you $50. You should go buy more toys for these kids. I'm such a fat ass. The Italian deli, I got to give them a shout out, can I?
Of course.
Yeah, please do.
Domingos and Encino. I'm in there so much eating. The guy goes like this, Steve, you're such a sweetheart. We bought the Xbox for your little buddy. I'm like, oh my God, that's incredible. I'm like, this is a Christmas miracle. Love it. Now I have $300 in donations, $400 in donations, $500 in donations. I go, hey, Steven's mom, here's $500 in cash and an Xbox. Like, I feel like I'm Santa Claus. The phone rings. It's a kid that my buddy Andrew, who works with Bill Burr. He goes, Bill wants to help you and these kids. I go, what? And he goes, let's get some toys. Let's do something special. I'm like, yes, they need toys. I go, but there's this other kid, William, that's having a really tough time. He goes, what do you mean tough time? I go, he's got cancer. His mom's got cancer. His dad's on disability. They're about to be homeless. Andrew goes, Jesus. All right, we got to do something. So 2 days later, I get a phone call. Bill's on board. Start a GoFundMe. He goes, just start a GoFundMe and we'll see what happens. He goes, Bill will match it. I go, okay. So then I'm uncomfortable asking for help or whatever. So I put a GoFundMe with a $3,000 goal, because I'm going, if we hit that, there's a Christmas miracle. I go, I give $2,000 to my buddy William. They have first and last month rent because they live out in the desert. They're good. And I go, I could take $1,000 and buy my little buddy a toy store.
Right.
So now here we are 4 days later. Bill mentioned it on his podcast. 4 days later, there's $10,000 in a GoFundMe.
Wow.
You're kidding.
I don't know what to do with it. Now I'm nervous. So then the crab feast, Jay and Ryan were like, we want to give you $500. I'm like, oh, okay, but where do we go? And then my friend Sam Tripoli, his girlfriend just shot a music video where the set was a toy store. They have a truckload of toys. So now I have to put them in touch with somebody at Children's Hospital. There are miracles happening, and I'm a little bit nervous because I don't know what to do exactly.
Wow, man. Congratulations, first of all. You know?
Dude, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. But you're like you say, it's ripples.
It's
It happens,
ripples, and
yeah.
it's inspiring other people. So now I was on the phone with my buddy Andrew, who really started this. He was like, I want to get involved. I want to get Bill involved, because his dad used to get him involved when he was a kid. He's a Boston guy. His dad used to get the kids involved with Toys for Tots. Now he's going, what if we start reaching out to comics in other cities and we send them money to go buy toys to bring to the children's hospitals in those cities? Because then there's more positive ripples.
There you go.
There's
Well,
more.
If our folks at home want to donate to the fund, where do they go, and what is it titled?
It's called the Santa Steve Fund. That was a ridiculous name.
Santa Steve.
Santa Steve on GoFundMe. I didn't
like
think
it.
anybody was going to see this. And now here we are. Now I'm going, okay, now I can help. I'm going to help, but it's pretty...
Well, first of all, I think Chunk and I would both say the same thing. You're not a douchebag for putting this out in the world. It's the complete opposite of that. You know, like, this is a great thing you're doing. It's clearly not something selfishly motivated.
No.
And so, yeah, folks at home, look it up, donate.
Yes. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Say it again. Where do they get?
It's just a GoFundMe page. The name of the campaign is called Santa Steve.
Okay, Santa Steve, guys. Jeez, you know something?
Yeah.
You know what I was doing over here?
Crying.
Yeah,
I know.
It's incredible because I promised this kid William in the hospital. I have no money. I'm a comic. Like I go gig to gig, and he was really upset.
Now, any chance of skimming at all?
No, that's
You know
what I
what I
have to do. It's funny that you mentioned that, but I was like, I'm paranoid. I'm like, I don't want to have to pay taxes on this. I don't want somebody to have to.
That's
so now
right.
we have to take all the money. We have to start I need a grown up in my life. That's why I was asking you guys because you guys seem
This isn't
you don't
right.
know. No,
No,
this feels like a
the
treehouse.
wrong
But
room,
I know. But I'm like,
go
you
to the
might know
treehouse.
one. You guys might know a grown up.
We don't even know what buttons to push.
Yeah, I don't know anything. So now I'm like, I'm going to put it all into one account. So then, I'm going to send, William's mom, they found a home. It'll be their first legit family home.
Wow.
In 4 years since their place burned down. And I was like, find out what it's going to take to get in there. And I will issue a check directly from this account that's not even opened yet. Poor little Steven's family, they had taken the money I'd given them. They bought a water heater. The water heater wasn't working. They're like, the pipes are all messed up. This is a disaster. I'm like, no. Have you checked the internet? There's money. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to be okay, but I have to do like a separate account, put a grown up, like I keep on saying the word grown up like I'm 11, but let people know. I want because I'm so motivated by this. It's like when you start losing weight, have you ever been on a diet and there's no results and you're like, this sucks, I'm going to go back to cheeseburgers? But as soon as you start, you go, I dropped 3 pounds. It gets you motivated.
Right.
Sure.
Now nothing motivates like results. So now I'm going, in 4 days, with Bill Burr, we did $10,000. My buddy Ari was like, Rogan's going to be pissed that you didn't ask him. He's got 1 million listeners. You should go on Rogan's. And I'm like, what am I going to do with the money? Yeah. So now I want to do I'm going to do a charity show every month. We're going to pick a different charity every month because that's got me motivated. Now with all this money, there's plenty of people that need it.
Right.
Fantastic, man.
Right? There's plenty of people that need it.
Good job,
Warm,
Santa
fuzzy
Steve,
feel-
baby.
And what a great fucking story right before the holidays.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's legitimately a Christmas miracle.
I think it's still going to get bigger. I
That's-
think it's still going to get bigger.
Yeah, I'm getting a little nervous. Like I was on there's a comedian named Brett Ernst, and he would go down to the hospital with me, and he was like, "Did you start the fund?" I go, "Yeah." What goal did you set? Like $3,000. And then today we were like, "Should we shut it down? What are we gonna do with this money?" And I'm like, "No, let's just see what happens, and then we'll deal." These are all good problems.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
Now,
Right.
any chance of getting your super intelligent younger brother involved? He
Yes,
seems like
he
an
was.
adult.
No, he was already on the phone with me today.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There
and he
we
was
go.
like, "Did
Now
you
we
send
have
up
an
an
adult."
update?" He was like, "Did you send up an update? You have to let these people know." And I'm like, "You're stressing me out," because I was on the phone with Children's Hospital, and then I was on the phone with the one kid's mom, answering text to another kid's mom, and then I want to send out thank yous to everybody that donated.
Sure.
And
It's overwhelming.
it's overwhelming and awesome.
All right, I'll tell you what. We're going to take a break because he's overwhelmed. Steve is overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm verklempt. I'm thinking it's going to be a mandatory group hug during the thing.
Oh,
Guys,
definitely.
don't go anywhere because right after this break, we're going to have some more Duck. And Steve's going to tell us about his podcast, about the first time he had sex. You know, he's probably alone. And we're coming back with some more stuff. But you know what to do. At this halftime, regroup and tell all your friends.
Yeah.
And go to Santa Steve and throw some money his way for the kids because that's a good thing.
Go to
Right on.
YouTube and check out Steve Simeone, spelled Simeone.
Right on.
And check out his comedy. Hilarious human being.
We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. If I find you going somewhere, I will track you down and punch you in the eye.
Like ISIS.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, Chunky B. 1 degree of Chunky B in the garage of love. And you know if you want to get your quack on, you go to Venice Duck. And I'm not even kidding. This is a good beer. Tell your friends. Don't be afraid to get your quack on. Dude, this is actually a really good beer.
It's fucking great beer.
You're so lucky.
Oh shit, I'm still recording.
Hey, you guys, music provided by Play Up Music. That's playupmusic.com.
Hey, buddies. I'm Steve Simeone, and you're watching and listening to 1 Degree of Chunky B.
Black is the night that holds you down. Black is the night that holds you down.
Hey, check it out. That was a great.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
Oh, sorry, John.
And I know the reason why you're not ready because we were just enjoying some of our.
Should we do a shot?
Yeah.
right, let's do it.
A shot.
Let's freak out
This
the guest.
stuff. I got a bottle. It's open.
Let's freak out the guest.
What is that? What's happening, guys?
Oh, this will kick in a second. See, oh Jesus! Oh, wait a second. Here, this is it. This stuff. If you do a capful a day, it just helps your innards.
Yeah, that
And it doesn't taste like it.
that beautifies from the inside out.
What is it?
It's
Like probiotics or something?
Well, it's fulvic liquid, and that's from the fulvic plant.
Yeah. See, the thing is, we take care of ourselves here.
You guys smoking grass? I feel like it's like an after-school special from the 80s.
What happens is it moisturizes from within.
Yeah.
I don't know what it does. It rebuilds your body, man. You want to try a shot?
It also,
Oh, by the way, you're going home with this.
you can.
This is-
Seriously?
Yeah, this is a cream for
It
your
improves
face.
your golf game. Show them the brochure.
Yeah, it does. It's,
Cool.
Okay.
check it out. Check it out. You'll play golf like the 70s.
Gambling is illegal here at Bushwood, and I never slice. Like Caddyshack. She's got the Rodney pants
I got a
on.
pool and a pond. You're a fun guy. Yeah. Okay, that's great. And thank you, Asticle. I know we joke, but we use.
Yeah, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, that's your pills. You just take one a day.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
It's NFL guys are starting to take it and shit. It's starting to grow. We're pretty psyched about it. All right, listen. What's happening in the world of podcasts? What's going on? You have the wannabes, the ones, the meat and potatoes are a small percentage.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like there's like 10 great ones, and then
Yeah.
everybody else.
And what's your thing? How do you fit in?
Are you
I
still
call
doing
it-
good times?
Yeah, I call it self-help through nostalgia. That with me, because I was getting my head kicked in Los Angeles, like working at the Comedy Store, not having a car, and I went through my depression. I was like, life sucks, and I hate everything. And then somehow I started to crawl my way out of it. And then I remember probably 9 years ago now, starting to change up my style of stand-up comedy to be more positive. And the more positive I started to make the stand-up, the more positive stuff I started to see in my life. Because I'd remember the good times from yesterday, and then that helped me start to see the good times in the
Oh,
now.
that's nice.
So that's...
a little self-therapy.
Yeah, so then that's how I view my podcast. I think it's fascinating who we were as kids. And I really thought going into it, I wanted to like interview one of my buddies that is like, a former military guy. And I'm like, were you a badass at 12? Because they were. People were so much who they were then now. And I thought that would be interesting. I thought everybody would have funny stories about being kids or, the time they got busted underage drinking in high school, all that cool stuff. I thought that's what it would be. But it seems like it always starts off at that. And I don't know if I should have been a priest or whatever, because people start to open up to me and then they start to talk about, it gets very philosophical and deep and how they find meaning and joy in the life and whatever.
Good
It's
times.
cool, man. It is good times. And people
That's
tell
his,
me they listen to it and feel better after.
So if people at home, the name of the podcast is...
Good Times with Steve Simeone.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
I like that. Simple and positive. We got 1 degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love. Hey, wait a second. Garage of Love, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's
That's
awesome.
good.
The world needs more love, bro, or at least accept it. Let's do it.
You know something? I'm not going to dog us.
No way, man. We're 5 degrees better than Kevin Bacon.
Damn straight.
And I would love to have you guys on my podcast.
Let's do it.
And then we could order pizza afterwards.
We,
Hey, do you know, are you a Marty Laquadara fan?
No, what's that? It sounds...
Isn't he from Philly?
I think he's a Philly guy.
I don't know him.
Comedian Marty Laquadara?
No, I don't
One
know
of our
him.
funniest guests from Philly.
I can't remember what episode he was on, but look
Dude,
him
I'm going to
up.
have to check it out.
Oh, my
He's-
God.
man. He
Dude,
has
I
this-
thought you were giving me a restaurant
No,
tip. I'm
no.
like, whoa, what's this? It
I
sounds
thought for
good.
sure he would know him, right? Because they seem like
no
they're in the
kidding, they're
same,
gonna be buddies.
same clique.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? You talk about Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, man.
And I so related to what you were talking about. But when I was growing up, my mom became a health freak, way too soon in life. Like it was granola bars and apples, and that was it. But I would go to my friend Eddie Friedman's house because you would open those kitchen doors, and it was like, whoa, Fruity Pebbles and Captain Crunch,
Yes.
everything.
It was like the Lufthansa
my
heist from
God,
Goodfellas.
I didn't even like Eddie that much.
Jimmy. You just wanted his snacks.
Yeah. I went over there for his snacks and his really mean dog.
Isn't that amazing? I can remember all the dogs in my neighborhood from growing up. It's
Really?
weird. Yeah, it's weird what you remember.
What was your first dog?
We had a dog. I remember her name was Adrian, but obviously we wanted to name her Rocky, and that's where the name Adrian came from. And my mom was like, she's a girl. And I'm like, we should still name her Rocky. And my mom was like, can't do that.
Dude,
So
are you ready? Steve, are you ready for this? Same thing happened in my family.
No way.
Yep. And we wanted to name our dog Rocky. And it was a girl, and my dad was like, "Fuck it, it's staying Rocky."
Are you serious?
Yes, and he would call her Roxy.
Dude, this is just like Step Brothers. Did we
That's
just become best
hilarious.
friends? That's incredible.
Yeah, Rocky.
We had a Doberman named Caesar, and legend has
that's
it
perfect.
he saved me because I fell in the canal behind our house.
Shut up.
And and he barked and barked and barked. Someone came and saved me.
I don't mean to. This is my new.
You
Slow-mo?
periscoping?
No, I'm
Slow-mo
not
promo?
periscoping. I'm doing this. Yeah, I'm setting up for a promo. When you air, you're gonna be on.
That's how fast you move the camera around.
Yep.
What are you shooting 90?
Yep.
That's crazy.
And it's all you need. That's enough for me to edit and do a promo.
Damn. No wonder why they're
It's
so
the new
bad.
Chunky, man. You know something? Growing up, in all the fun stories. Are you known for like a vivid memory guy?
Yeah.
You got that
Yep.
whole thing down?
Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, I can remember stuff.
Did you guys build forts? when you were kids?
Every kind of fort imaginable.
Right?
Yeah, it was the most fun ever.
Your upbringing, were you in like a neighborhood with trees?
Yep. It
When
was
you
the
think
best.
Philly, man, you just think streets and
Oh,
badasses.
okay. This is what I say. I definitely more Kevin Arnold than Rocky Balboa. I grew up in the suburbs. I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah.
People say Philly. I claim Delco, which now has a short Delco proper on Comedy Central because it's the funniest place. Where I grew up is amazing. So many characters. But it was a great childhood. Like there was a little rough area pretty close by, some projects or whatever to keep us on our toes. But there was woods behind my house. I think every little boy should have access to woods to go exploring and pick up man skills. We had the woods behind my house. We had a baseball field a block, 2 suburb blocks away, a block and a half away. Next to the baseball field was a tennis court that they would take the nets down in the fall, winter, and we'd turn into street hockey. And then down the street from that, by my buddy Brian's backyard, backed up to a synagogue that had basketball courts and a sledding hill.
Nice.
It was perfect.
That's amazing.
That's a neighborhood.
What's your thinking? What are you thinking over there?
Nothing.
You gave me this little look over there. Like,
No, I just wanted him to keep telling stories. I don't want to interrupt him.
Is that what that look? That look was like, don't look.
Yeah, I was
there.
like, don't interrupt him.
Yeah. Okay.
Terrible.
Check it out. Did you?
That was the
I
last
think he
guess.
was giving me that look. Yeah.
Thank you. Okie doke. It's like Chris
look at-
Farley and
yeah.
Tommy Boy.
Yeah, look-
All righty.
Look at the time.
Yeah, that's
Sickler, this
interesting.
guy was the worst.
Now, did you have neighborhood kids? Like, were you
Neighborhood
all,
friends and school friends, absolutely.
But were you out on the street playing?
all the time.
Two below.
There are okay. This is one of the fascinating things that does come up on my podcast. There are certain games I don't know how they get passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah,
that's right.
There are regional variances,
Yes.
different names.
Like Flyers Up.
Don't even know what you're talking about.
What was Flyers Up?
Flyers Up was like, you guys probably called it 500.
Oh yeah, 500.
you go.
A grounder was 25.
Yep,
Line
yep,
drive
yep.
75.
Yeah, all that stuff was amazing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
How about? Did you ever play Spud?
No.
Where you threw the ball, bounce it on down, and you run and okay, all right.
Wow.
Well,
we
there
had
was
Indian
similar-
ball.
We had games where the ball was thrown against the wall and you would have to catch it, and then if you didn't catch it, we could throw it at you.
At your
That's
ass,
it,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? What about kick the can?
Yes, and there were different. I remember there was a variation of that it was my favorite game ever, that we would call jail. And I have noticed that in different neighborhoods, different regions, there's something similar. It's kind of like Bigfoot legends or whatever. Like across the cultures, this gets passed around. And jail was kind of like kick the can, kind of like hide and go seek, kind of like capture the flag.
My favorite game of
The
all
greatest,
time.
right?
Yeah,
Amazing. We'd play hide and seek at night in the summer. Giant teams, 15 different people.
Nice.
Everybody would get put into jail. But if one person could sneak up and touch that jail and say jail,
Yeah.
everybody got free and got to run again.
Right.
We could play that for hours. I do have to say this: the greatest move ever in the history of jail that these eyes ever witnessed. There was a gentleman, God rest his soul, by the name of Jody DeFermo, who the jail was a car parked in our driveway. Everybody had to touch that. When he went to hide, he hid underneath the car like a ninja. Nobody knew he was there. Our entire team was in jail. They were all looking the other way. He popped out and went, boom, jail. We were like, best move ever.
I thought you were going to go with the story that he was under the car and someone started it.
Oh, that was always my fear when I babysat my niece and nephews.
Yeah.
You know what's cool is there's an app for that now. They don't even have to play anymore.
Oh, that they're exhausted. You know what my problem was when we played like hide and go seek or something like that? I used to get so excited as a kid, and I would hide and have to take a pee so bad.
Because it was so much fun.
Yeah. And then when they yelled out, what was that thing they yelled out? Ollie, Ollie, income free.
Yeah.
But everyone was like in a big wet spot next to me.
I can tell you every game of tackle football ended with stitches from a sprinkler.
That should be the name
Yeah.
of a book you write.
Absolutely.
Stitches from a Sprinkler.
Yeah.
And it's just battle stories.
I got pebbles under the skin like a lot.
Oh, man.
Yeah, good times though, man.
What was your sport? Were you a Philly sports guy?
I was a horrific athlete. Terrible.
I can out terrible you.
I have sidekick genetics. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was always like, hey guys, I could puke on purpose, so I get to hang with you, right? Like I went out for the wrestling team in 7th grade. Legitimately, this was a bit, but it's too embarrassing and it sounds hacky and contrived. But when I went out for the wrestling team in 7th grade, honestly thought I could be from Parts Unknown. I thought it was WWF.
Parts Unknown.
Like I was going to paint my face or wear a mask. And my honest thought was my older brother was a heavy kid and he was mean. And I remember going, if I get into trouble, Chris can come out of the locker room with a chair and make sure I don't get hurt.
Right.
I was 12. I really thought that. And I wound up getting, and I remember being at the meeting and Mr. Tagg and Mr. Ferguson were explaining everything. And I'm like, am I missing something here? And I'm looking for the ring and they're not talking. Yeah. And this one kid, I forget who it was, but any questions, he raised his hand and he went, yeah, where's the ring? And everybody laughed. And I'm like, yeah, everybody's laughing. And then the coach was like, it's not that kind of wrestling. That kid had the brains to get out of it. I didn't. Because I was like, I don't know where I got this from. But you start something and you finish it. My parents were just like, quit if you want, you know? I don't know where I got it from. And I got pinned every match. I didn't lose. I got pinned in every match because I was a fat kid. So I'm wrestling like these kids with farm strength and
right.
aggressive. Yeah, it was terrible. I was bad.
What a crack up. I'm just going through. Yeah, I'm just going back in my. What a shitty athlete I was. Man, I played soccer. And my first year playing soccer, all these kids are out on the field, and the coach goes, does anybody know how to dribble? And I raised my hand, and he kicked me the ball. I picked it up, and I started bouncing the ball.
Come on, for real?
For real. And it was the same year that my parents, for some reason, wouldn't get me the correct shin guards. I had hockey pads from the
You were that kid.
Yeah, and the Velcro.
Yeah, there's always one kid who wears the wrong color
couldn't-
pants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the pads were stiff. These things were like an inch thick, and no sock could get over them. So I was the only one with this hockey pads over my shins, and they were like, "Oh, it was terrible."
Oh, my
I don't
God.
believe I'm busting that story out. You're bringing back memories.
It's
dude.
the greatest, right?
Yeah,
I was an
guess.
excellent athlete.
Were you? I was fine as a kid. Like early on,
Right.
I was a good baseball player. I was a good soccer. I was on the traveling soccer team.
Nice.
And then they would put too much. I didn't realize organized sports could be fun until I got on the Comedy Store softball team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they would
yeah,
put too much. They'd put too much pressure on us. I was like 8 years old. I remember I had one great coach that told us the secret to life was attitude, and it didn't make sense now. And I'm like, it's amazing that 30 years later, I'm like, hey, Coach Sorelli, you were the best.
Yeah.
All my other coaches made everything about winning, and it's too much. Or if the coaches were cool, the parents were crazy. That's really the coaches were kind of cool in retrospect, but then parents, it was like win. I'm like, this is the Cobra Kai.
I saw a parent get in a fight with a coach. A parent getting, and they were on
When
the
you were
same
a
team.
kid?
No. This was like last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it
That
was like
still
a
goes on?
brawl out in the bleachers when the coach
That's
went
crazy.
by. And the kid was on the same team.
Yeah, it's crazy. My parents think I were very cool. I'm very like. The older I get, the more I appreciate my family. They're amazing people.
No doubt. Were they supportive of like you're gonna do what?
No, they were like, go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It was weird that like when I graduated college, I tried to do some open mics and stuff early on, but there wasn't anything. So I gave up the comedy dream at 22. Right. And then I remember my friends were like, you should go back. You should do this. You have an amazing, you're talented. You're whatever. You can always get a job. And then like 5 years later, after I was sick of everything and I was just like, there are no open mics here. I'm just going to get my car and go to LA. I remember a lot of my friends were kind of like, are you sure you want to do this? They were already kind of like broken a little bit. Their spirit was broken by the world. They were like, are you sure you want to do this? This isn't that great of an idea. And I remember I had friends' parents. I remember I don't know if he was so cool to me. And he was like, go for it. What do you have to lose? It was the guys at 50 that were cool. They were like, you can always get a job, man.
Yeah, right.
They were like, go out. You at the very least, you don't shovel snow for a winter. Who cares? Go out there, live.
Give it a shot. Right?
Yeah. And
Hell
it was
yeah.
them.
What year did you graduate high school?
High school 91.
Where'd you go to college?
Loyola, Maryland.
Really?
Yep.
You good high school student?
Yeah. And here's the other thing. I was in my 30s before I realized I was dyslexic. So school kicked my ass. I didn't enjoy it because I put a lot of pressure on myself. But I was a decent high school. It's good. I mean, now considering that I was dyslexic, I'm like, oh, I did great.
Right.
But then when I got to college, I could just sit in the class. And I think that's how I developed my memory, if you want to know the truth. Because things didn't make sense unless I listened and reworded it in my own brain.
Right.
So I was one of those college students where I didn't need this. I was the kid everybody hated. I didn't need to study. I would just go to class, put things in my own words in my notebook, and I knew it. So then, like the night before test, I'd be, doing shots of Jack and hanging out to 3 in the morning like a moron.
You have a girlfriend?
We broke up. She just moved to New York.
Oh, is this a little sad subject here?
It feels new. It feels new.
Yeah, I'm just psyched that he was like with a girl at one time. The
I
jury was out. I didn't know.
felt like Rudolph. She thinks I'm cute. It was like second date. I'm in. No.
So what's that? You were out here in L.A. When was the breakup?
Well, that's the other thing too. I guess all the other girls that broke up with me in the past made it seem like it was my idea, but they wanted out because I thought we broke up in May, and then we texted yesterday. What? So it's still Yeah.
It's complicated.
Yeah. Well,
Are you heartbroken, dude?
No. I gotta be careful what I say. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but it's like, oh my god.
Speaking of hurting someone's
driving me
feelings,
crazy.
Eddie Friedman, I actually do like you. Like I wasn't just there for the cereal. You know what I mean?
Time out. We've got a choker.
Yeah.
We've got a choker.
I heard the name and I was like, is this about snacks?
That's funny. Right on. What do you see yourself? What do you want to do when you grow up?
What do you want to do with your life?
Yeah.
I want to rock. It's funny.
You doing any pilots or anything like that? Is that
I did a
you?
pilot with Tom Segura and Christina
Tom
Pajinski.
Segura,
I
another
love
friend
those.
of the show.
Yeah, the greatest.
Yeah.
So they had me play like their wacky neighbor on a pilot. That was awesome. I finally have representation, so my manager's been getting me out, which is great. To just sort of like, I feel like I'm in showbiz a little bit. But
Now let's bring one story full circle. You did do a movie called WrestleMania.
yeah, I don't know what that is.
You have no idea?
No,
It's on
like,
your IMDb.
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got interviewed for. Because people would. I go to morning radio and people
You don't
are like,
remember going off the top rope ever?
Well, as a child, of course, off the couch, off of beds.
And
but-
then Daddy Knows Best. You did a TV show.
I did, but that
Is that
was
real?
That was okay. My buddies created a TV show, and I had like 5 lines in that.
But it's on IMDb. That's awesome.
I did a pilot last week. I think the guy said he flew for Delta.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
USA.
I think he said he flew for Braniff.
Hey, before we put a bow on this, is anything on your mind that you want to bust out here?
How about some plugs, man? You want
I
where
want
are you
you
going to be
guys-
in a couple weeks? People will see this next week, so you got to plug.
Irvine
a couple
Improv, December 30th, and then I'm gonna at the Reno Tahoe Comedy Club for New Year's Eve.
weeks. That's fantastic.
All right, listen, I got a boss that loves comedy, and she lives down there.
Really?
I'll hook her up with some tickets.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll hit you up on that.
Yeah, anybody listening, we'll hook up. It's the day before New Year's Eve. Let's have to have.
And
as
remember
many laughs
Santa
as
Steve,
possible.
GoFundMe.
Yeah, and then Good Times on podcast.
Yeah, and I want
right.
you guys to come on.
Oh,
It'll
that'd
be
be
fun.
awesome.
Don't
This,
say
no, this
that.
is like a mini episode right here.
Yeah, okay.
We'll
Let's
get
do
into
it.
snacks. We'll just talk about families and the snacks they have.
Yeah,
Well, do you
man.
know Sickler still says to this day that I was one of his best guests?
That is true.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love those guys, right?
I was doing. I did a wedding the other day. I was like doing the wedding.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it was so weird.
You were performing the ceremony.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
just
yeah.
her. But I got there, and she goes, "Well, there's a priest here, because my parents, my husband's parents are, they're Catholic, but I'm not. So the priest doesn't really technically want to marry us, but he's going to go up there and do some vows too." And I'm like, "Wait a second,
Great.
really?
Am I getting bumped?
Now you can't work blue.
Yeah, true. So he went up there, and he had some, you could tell he's done it before. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And I wrote notes down and shit. And I'm like, I'm going to change this up. And I'm like, okay, to the bride. Will you respect and will you honor? Will you do what's, I did a Dr. Seuss.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And it killed. It
Oh, good
killed.
for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So I mixed it up a little bit. It wasn't serious stuff.
Nice.
It was fun to do. Okay. You're an awesome individual.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you for coming in the Garage of Love. Thank you for being on 1 Degree of Chunky B. And I want nothing but the best for Steve and Mike.
And William.
And I mean, yeah, that's right. William.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And that is an awesome thing. And that proves that we have quality individuals in the Garage of Love.
That's right.
Our stock is up.
That's right.
You know what it proves? People in general are awesome. That's what
Right
I
on.
told them. I go, you guys are changing lives. You're proving that people care, that strangers care, that we're all connected, that we're all in this together. And I that's the weird thing. My stand-up comedy is starting to become like Tony Robbins. I don't know what the hell is happening,
goodness.
but we need it, bro.
Yeah, we do.
Come on.
No, did you call yourself at one time Awesome Steve?
Oh, that's a great story.
Go
My
with it.
website is awesomesteve.com because I had stevesimeone.com. Nobody would ever spell it right. And then some jerks, like I would always get an email from the company that's my web hosting thing, and it was just all crap. So then I guess they had sent an email saying that I had to pay my thing. I forgot to re-register stevesimeone.com. Some jerks bought it out from underneath me, and they were like, "You want your name back? Give us, $5,000, whatever." So on principle, F you.
Right.
So then after shows, I used to
Although
do
you do have the money now.
You can buy that back.
Sorry, Steven. Sorry, William. I need to promote myself. Welcome
buying-
to Hollywood.
I'm
This is
buying my name.
showbiz.
Sorry, kids.
So people after shows would come up to me and go, "Awesome," in my little brother's voice. And then people would be like, "Awesome, Steve." Or I
so
remember
great.
2 hot chicks in Texas. Awesome, Steve. And I was like, "Hello." And it stuck, and that was available, and it's way easier to remember.
For you. Did you have bunk beds?
Well, not for long. Too much chaos.
Yeah, I mean the
much
whispering
chaos.
that went on, that shit's hilarious. When you go on YouTube and look up his stand
And
up.
what was your bit? I know we're trying to close this, but
Fuck.
you're too fucking good of a person, man. What was it? At midnight, did you not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
show at midnight? But
Yeah.
I'm saying when today turns into the.
Tomorrow, that's my younger brother.
That's
He
right.
was like, "We have to stay awake to midnight," and I was like, "Yes." Why midnight? And he was like, "Because it's midnight." And I'm like, "Well, why can't we just try to stay awake until 11?" And he's like, "No, dude, it's not the same." I'm like, "How do you know it's not the same? What's the latest you ever stayed awake until?" And he goes, "I don't know. I always fall asleep," right? So then he was younger, and he would, "Let me explain. Steve, like right now it's today." I'm like, "Duh. I'm not stupid. I'm not accusing. I'm just trying to establish. We both agree that it's today, correct?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "But then tomorrow, when you wake up, I was like, "It's tomorrow." And he goes, "No, dude. Tomorrow, when you wake up, it's today again." And I was like, "Oh my God. But when does today become tomorrow?" And he goes, "Midnight."
Perfect.
Best.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Simeone in the Garage of Love. I'm Chunky B. Go to our website. Andy Davey, you rock the knobs. You're no wizard, but you are
The manimal.
The man, yeah. Gary Adler, executive producer of
Thank
Love.
you, Chunky. Did I make up for the last one?
Yeah, oh God, yeah. We'll talk about the
That
last
was
one
rough.
off air. Yeah. And once again, Steve, thank you for rocking
Dude,
and roll.
thank you guys so much.
And Chunky, thank you, dude. Very proud of you, bro. I just want to tell you that.
Thank you. my
Super
friend.
proud of you.
I dig it. All right, we are Chunky B, all that stuff. Be real, be kind, be cool. We're out.